You know, it's funny. Sometimes the most common, everyday things have the most fascinating stories. I'm talking about the words we use all the time, the ones that are so simple we barely even notice them. Well, it turns out some of them are hiding a pretty cool secret.
So let me ask you, what do you think is one of the most essential verbs, one of the most fundamental action words in the entire English language? A real workhorse of a word. One you probably use constantly without even thinking about it.
That word? It's put. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Put. That's it. It sounds almost too simple to even talk about, right? But trust me on this one. Stick with me. Because this tiny little word has a kind of hidden superpower, and it actually changes the way we think about communication.
All right, so let's just start with what we all know. This is a word you know inside and out. It's like part of the furniture of the English language.
I mean, just look at the definition. It's about as straightforward as you can get. To put something is simply to move a thing to a place. That's it. No frills, no fancy stuff, just pure, simple action.
And we use it like this all the time, right? I always put my books on the table. It's like this invisible engine in our sentences, just quietly doing its job without ever making a big deal about it.
Okay, but here's where things start to get a little strange. Because behind that super simple exterior, there's a weird little quirk in the grammar.
So, think about it. Most verbs follow a pretty predictable pattern. You've got the plain form, put. You've got the ongoing action, putting. But take a look at what happens when we go into the past tense.
Wait a minute. It's still put. The past tense is put, and the past participle is also put. It completely breaks the normal ed rule. That's why we call it an irregular verb. You say yesterday, I put the book on the table, not I putted the book on the table. That just sounds wrong, doesn't it?
So isn't that kind of weird? One of the most common words we have breaks one of our most common rules. It's simple, but it's also a little strange. And that's our first clue that there's something else going on here.
And that little clue leads us right here to the big reveal. This is where we finally uncover the secret. It's something I like to call the 850-word club.
Because you see, the word put has a secret. Its importance isn't just some random accident of history. Nope, it was chosen. It was deliberately picked for a very, very specific and powerful reason.
And that reason has everything to do with this number right here, 850. What on earth does the number 850 have to do with a simple word like put?
Well, this is BE 850, which stands for Basic English. It's this incredible foundational list of just 850 words. And these words were so carefully chosen that with them, you can explain almost any complex idea. And our humble, strange little word put, it's a card-carrying charter member of this very exclusive club.
Okay, so why? Why does this even matter? Why would anyone go to the trouble of creating a list like this? Let's dig into that, because this basic idea is actually way more powerful than it sounds.
See, the whole point of a core vocabulary isn't to limit what we can say. It's the opposite. It's about making our communication more effective. For someone learning English, it's an amazing tool. It gives them a solid foundation to build on. But even for fluent speakers, it gives us this shared toolkit to talk about really complex ideas in a simple way. Think about how useful that is for global business or science or just getting your point across clearly. And I really want to be clear here. This is not dumbed down English. Not at all. A better way to think about it is like a precision toolkit. You're using the exact right tool for the job. It's a powerful, super efficient system for getting an idea out of your head and into someone else's with as little confusion as possible.
And that brings us all the way back to where we started. Back to that one tiny word. But now we see it in a completely different light, don't we? Because at the end of the day, put isn't just some weird, irregular verb. It's a key, a small, simple, humble key that unlocks a whole system, a whole way of thinking about clearer, more effective communication for everyone.
So that leaves me with a final thought for you. Think about your own life, your work, the things you're passionate about. What's one big idea, one really important concept that you could explain more powerfully if you just took a moment to find the right simple words?